Good evening, everybody. Okay. First of all, I'll do it again, but how about this jazz band? Well, good evening and welcome to the 2019 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year Award reception. This evening is a celebration of the hard work, dedication, and excellence each of our nominees infuses into their chosen profession, and more importantly, into their students. Teachers unfold the possibilities in each of their students, instilling in them a sense of resiliency, perseverance, and hope. Those words, resilience, perseverance, hope, also describe what teachers must possess as they brave each new day, committing to positively impacting the young minds that fill their classrooms. We're so honored to have each of you as our guests and hope this evening is a special memory in your teaching career. In addition to your presence, we want to offer a special thank you to the organization that makes this night possible. 31 years ago, Bruce Eide from Vern Eide Motor Cars approached the school district and asked what could he do to support teaching excellence in the Sioux Falls School District. The outcome is this city's premier teacher appreciation event and is known as the Dr. John W. Harris Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year, sponsored by Vern Eide Motor Cars and the Sioux Falls School District. Vern Eide Motor Cars provides the $4,000 prize for tonight's winner. Bruce isn't able to be with us tonight, but Michael Larson is representing this true champion of education in Sioux Falls, as well as the entire Vern Eide Motor Cars family. Mr. Larson, would you please stand? You have been a fixture here too, so thank you for giving up your evening to celebrate with us. And please pass on our appreciation to Vern Eide. Tonight we honor 79 teachers from across the city who were nominated for this prestigious award. In most cases, parents wrote to convey their appreciation for the time, care, and love shown by a teacher to their child. Many colleagues lifted up an educational leader they appreciate and took time to pour those words into heartfelt nominations. And then there were the work of students who, despite their required coursework, willingly took on one more writing assignment to show their appreciation for a special teacher through a nomination. In the words of those who've nominated them, our special guests and finalists get their students. They inspire, they encourage academic and personal growth, they nurture, they teach resilience, perseverance, and hope. Before we continue our celebration of teachers this evening, we invite you to make your way to one of the beverage tables, then enjoy the desserts at your table. While you enjoy your dessert and visit a bit, we will hear from the Patrick Henry Middle School Jazz Band. Earlier tonight when I was sitting down here, I said, can you believe that's a middle school jazz band? Under the direction of Lon Szymanski, but here tonight under the direction of Gary Peterson. So thank you, Mr. Peterson, and please play on. All right. We'll be back in a minute.
Ain't no place to go.
And I see they're leaving, so if you would please join me, let's give another round of applause to the Patrick Henry Middle School Band. Many thanks to those budding musicians for inspiring us with their love of music and giving us a prelude of their musical abilities even before they enter high school. As you finish your dessert, I'd like to direct your attention to the centerpieces and decorative cards on your table this evening. The theme of our evening is unfolding the possibilities in each student, instilling resiliency, perseverance, and hope. The centerpieces showcase the Chinese plum blossom, and each of you will find a paper fortune cookie at your setting. We wanted you to know how fortunate we are to be in your presence. Thank you also to the Sioux Falls Public Schools Education Foundation for their financial donation for materials for those centerpieces. I also want to offer a sincere thanks to the Education Foundation for their tireless work to secure business sponsorships for grants that go directly to our teachers for innovative projects. Since 2008, nearly $300,000 has been awarded to public school teachers through grants to benefit the Sioux Falls School District students. In addition to that amount, every first-year, zero-experience teacher hired by our school district receives a $200 stipend from the foundation to purchase supplies for their classroom. Additional information about the foundation is found on your tables, and I would encourage you to learn more about their mission to support teaching excellence. Additionally, our thanks to the Sioux Falls Education Association for providing boutonnieres and corsages for each of the finalists and for being here to greet our guests this evening. To Tony Martinette and all members of SFEA, thank you. Thanks to the Community Relations and Community Education crew in general, and to Deanne Conrad specifically, for handling all of the details of this event. There is a whole lot of work that goes in to planning for this event and then rescheduling this event. So to all of you in community relations and community ed, thank you for the bottom of our hearts. From the food to the tickets to preparing finalist video that we will see here in a few minutes. Portions of tonight's reception, well, first of all, thank you to everybody in the community relations and community education. Portions of tonight's reception, along with an interview with the winner, will be included in a segment that will be included on KLRN, KLearn TV soon. A special thank you to the 5 judges who spent many hours reading and rereading the nominations and coming together to select the finalists and ultimately this year's winner. Please stand to be recognized when your name is announced. Dr. Sandy Henry. Dr. Henry is a recently retired middle school curriculum coordinator in the Sioux Falls School District. Thank you. Michelle Madsen. Michelle is the parent of 2 elementary students at Robert Frost and director of mentoring for Lutheran Social Services, which manages the school-based mentor program. Thank you, Michelle. To the most recognizable face in the room, Brady Mallory. Brady is a reporter with Midday and Kelloland and the news anchor, and a very dear friend of the Sioux Falls Public Schools. Thank you, Brady. To Susie Reichs. Susie is a volunteer services director for the Helpline Center and supporter of the Helpline Center's Serve and Learn Student Association. I don't believe Susie was able to make it here this evening, but please offer her your thanks. And finally, to Kent Alberty. Kent Alberty is a Washington High School graduate, a longtime Sioux Falls business owner, and a member of the Sioux Falls School Board, currently serving as the president of the Board of Education. Thank you, Mr. Alberty. Kent is joined tonight by School Board Vice President Cynthia Mickelson. Board members, please stand and remain standing while I call your names. And also board members Kate Parker, Carly Ryder, and Todd Tolke. Thank you, members of the board. So on with the event. For our first recognition this evening, please welcome to the podium our school board president, Mr. Kent Alberty.
Since the Teacher of the Year program began in 1989, over 500 teachers have been recognized as nominees and finalists, and 30 of them have previously been named Teacher of the Year. These outstanding individuals represent various educational backgrounds and areas of specialty, and each possesses effective teaching skills and a passion for their profession. A number of previous winners are joining us this evening. I invite these distinguished Teacher of the Year alumni to stand and be recognized as we honor your legacy. School Board Vice President Cynthia Mickelson and Member Kate Parker will now introduce this year's nominees. Carly Ryder and Todd Tolke will present a memento.
When the deadline for nominations finally approached, touching letters of support for our honorees filled a giant 3-ring binder. It is truly inspiring to learn about each nominee and to know that these people are educating and preparing our students to succeed in a changing world.
Nominees, as we read your name, please come up and receive a small gift to recognize your achievement. Aaron Dang, Hawthorne Elementary.
Alicia Bell, Robert Frost Elementary.
Amanda Nowler, Memorial Middle School.
Amanda Lohr, Renberg Elementary.
Amber Smith, John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Amber Sundvold, Edison Middle School.
Amy Beth Jibin, Garfield Elementary.
Amy Booth, George McGovern Middle School.
Amy Heinert, Harvey Dunn Elementary.
Amy Larson, John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Andrea Sukat, Terry Redland Elementary.
Ashley Cracky, R.F. Pettigrew Elementary.
Bailey Carmody, New Tech High School.
Barb Boongraves, Patrick Henry Middle School.
Becky Davis, Susan B. Anthony Elementary.
Brittany Hammond, Roosevelt High School.
Brooke Estep, John Harris Elementary.
Carolyn Schroeder, Laura Wilder Elementary.
China Smith, Lowell Elementary.
Cynthia Underberg, Terry Redland Elementary.
Eliana Gutierrez, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
Emily LaFrance, Cleveland Elementary.
Eric Hedinger, George McGovern Middle School.
Eric Miller, Robert Frost Elementary.
Aaron Larson, Edison Middle School.
Ava Delgado Gomez from Edison Middle School.
Fred Reiner, Washington High School.
Heather Miller, Sioux Falls Lutheran School.
Holly Bickley, Garfield Elementary.
Jason Olson, New Tech High School.
Janine Sukup, Ann Sullivan Elementary. Annie Sullivan.
Jesse McCormick, Hawthorne Elementary.
Jessica Niggy, Robert Frost Elementary.
Jill Joyce Hazard, Eugene Field A+ Elementary.
Jill Meeker, Hayward Elementary.
Jill Powell, Terry Redlin, Annie Sullivan Elementary.
John Mulhare, Oscar Howe Elementary.
Julie Sunderman, Annie Sullivan Elementary.
Karen Lukens, Oscar Howe Elementary.
Kathy Ben, Susan B. Anthony Elementary.
Katie Ristow, RF Pettigrew Elementary.
Kayla Hinch, Edison Middle School.
Keena Flock, George McGovern Middle School.
Christine Smith, John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Lindy Bell, Patrick Henry Middle School.
Lisa Peterson, Patrick Henry Middle School.
Lori Erickson, Axel Park Building.
Mallory Begtrup, RF Pettigrew Elementary.
Marla Skadson, Eugene Field A+ Elementary.
Marina Khan, Susan B. Anthony Elementary.
Mary Gail Monahan, New Tech High.
Maureen Bland, John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Michelle McIntyre, Washington High School.
Mike Jones, Discovery, Ranberg, Pettigrew, and Redland.
Molly Rost, Harvey Dunn Elementary.
Nate Punt, Laura Wilder Elementary.
Nicole Gardner, Harvey Dunn Elementary.
Paula Dean, Oscar Howe Elementary.
Rebecca Roberts, John Harris Elementary.
Riza Jongling, Axtell Park Building.
Robin Mediger, John Harris Elementary.
Robin Costello, John Harris Elementary.
Rodrigo Vasquez, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
Rosa Parsons, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
Sarah Goman, Garfield Elementary.
Scott Goose, Washington High School.
Shannon Howeiler, John Harris Elementary.
Shannon Mercoris, John Harris Elementary.
Silvana Osorio, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
Susan Busa, Roosevelt High School.
Valentina Wistuba, Sonia Sotomayor.
Vanessa Granning, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
Victor Naranjo, Sonia Sotomayor Elementary.
And Wendy Phillips, Roosevelt High School.
Please forgive us if we mispronounced any names. We tried. Please recognize these teachers again for their outstanding service.
Well, and now for our finalists. Each of our 4 finalists has earned the respect and admiration of one might consider one of the hardest audiences to please, their students. Let's find out why their students feel they are worthy of this honor.
Mr. Hawkins, just from the moment I met him, my first year here at New Tech, has always been different from the rest of the teachers. You know, when people say two-faced, it's usually a bad thing, but he really does have two sides. He has the side that's fun, connecting with the students, you know, having fun, joking around with us, but he's also a teacher. Ultimately, his job is to teach us, make sure we stay on task. And especially last year when I took American Experience, you definitely see both of those sides of him. You see, all right, it's time to get down to business, we gotta do work, you guys gotta learn, but you also get a whole lot of him having fun with us. Having someone who relates with us really helps, especially me, learn, because I'm not gonna learn as well in an environment where I feel like I'm constantly being watched, where there's someone over my shoulder If I misstep, there are going to be problems. You know, in a more relaxed environment with a more relaxed teacher, more in tune with the kids' teacher like Mr. Hawkins is, it just helps me relax, which ultimately would help me learn better. He is incredibly smart. He lived in China. He can speak a little bit of Mandarin. Super high-level education. He's very knowledgeable on the topic. So not only is he fun, not only is he an effective teacher, but he's also very knowledgeable. Every single day in AP Government, we get super off topic, just completely off the rails, asking him all kinds of what-if questions, and never once have we managed to stump him. He always knows the answer. He has a law degree. I'm interested in going into law after high school. So especially with this platform of AP Gov as like a starting point, I'll talk to him personally all the time, like, hey, I'm thinking about going into law. What sort of undergrads would you recommend to get into a law school? What is law school like? And he talks to me about it, just one-on-one conversations like that. And he also heads up other programs, like he runs the Boys State. We just ran our presentation about that today too. And afterwards, you know, he just stayed and talked with us. He stayed, talked to people who had extra questions. So yeah, definitely that individual aspect is there with him as well. He definitely goes above and beyond in every way.
Mr. Iverson is a very passionate teacher. He's very passionate about teaching kids and making them have fun while doing it. So it's not just like reading textbooks and blah, 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 blah. He always has these fun activities that engage all the students, and he makes everybody want to participate and want to learn more. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to Mr. Iverson's class today, let's do this thing. And he knows how to interact with kids so well. Like, he relates to us and he knows what we want to do. He knows what we expect, and it's great. Like, we just have so much fun with him while learning. My mom always asks, like, what's one thing you learned today? And literally, like, the best thing I learned that I didn't know before was in social studies. Like, I've never known that much about social studies. But this year, it's just like, my mind is open to so many things. Mr. Iverson has these things called LCLs, which are life-changing lessons, and I have learned so much from them. Everybody's talking about what Mr. Iverson did, because he teaches differently every time. Like, it's not he just goes through the same thing every class period. He makes everything different. We were learning about finding things on a map like 60 degrees north. He pretended he was from New Jersey. He dressed up, it was so fun, and he greeted us like, hey, I'm from New Jersey, and like, he spoke with an accent. It was so cool. And he pretended he was part of a gang or whatever, and they were trying to find this other gang who had planted a bomb somewhere. And so there were a bunch of folders with clues in it, and so we had to go through all the clues. Together, we had to find out the main city where the bomb was being hidden, and it was so fun. I just had so much fun in social studies that day, and I asked my mom, hey mom, can we nominate Mr. Iverson for Teacher of the Year? He's so awesome and he deserves it so much. He just makes you feel special over everybody else, and it's amazing. I wish I could have him for every class my entire life.
When I first started, I was just like, oh, Latin. I mean, everyone else is doing Spanish or German, or I'm going to do Latin because I don't know anything about it. I want to learn about that. And then when I first came here, where they like introduced you to your class and everything, I mean, I just fell in love with her. I mean, she was awesome. She came with energy. She made sure that everyone knows we're going to get through it. And high school can be a stressful time, but this is not a class that you're going to stress about. And I think that just the way that she makes her classroom in a welcoming place. And I mean, Latin is a great language, of course, but I mean, if it wasn't for Miss Thomason, I guarantee I would not learn it as well as I do. It's definitely Miss Thomason that makes me come back every single day. Not only is she just an amazing teacher, she's just a great person as well, and you can tell that when she's teaching it. Every day she comes with a lot of energy, and I think that really helps kids focus and helps kids want to learn. She develops a relationship with the student. She doesn't just focus on their schoolwork or how they're doing in class. She develops in how they're doing in general, and this helps her learn how to teach them better, because then she can get to know the kid and she can get to figure out what their specific needs are, and that way she can tailor to their academic needs at the same time, which I think is just amazing. And sometimes you need some extra time maybe just to focus on things, or you just need a little extra help outside of class, and she is always there for you if you need help on Latin. It's awesome. I mean, you ask anyone in that room and they're just going to say how much they love her, because they recognize the fact that she doesn't just care about them getting A's so that she looks better as a teacher. She cares about how they're doing, and she wants to help them do better and achieve the best results that they possibly can in the class. And I think every kid just absolutely loves that. She wants to make sure that every kid has the same opportunity to learn. And she recognizes that some kids aren't as academically inclined as others. And that way she can help kids to achieve their best thing. And I think that there's not many teachers that have the ability to just make kids succeed to their highest potential, and really makes her stand out among the rest. It's just her ability to make kids succeed beyond what their limit may be and make them realize that they can do more than what they are doing now. And I think it's just awesome like that.
I've had Miss Wounded Head twice so far. I had her sophomore year, and then I took AP Lit this year because of her, basically. And she's just one of those teachers that makes kids want to show up. Just by being in her classroom, kids think they expect better themselves instead of her forcing them to do better. The level of thought from the students and the level of participation of the students is always just higher. She does a lot of projects where you get to just use other skills that are more enjoyable to use and apply it to things that you don't necessarily want to do. So if we're doing something related with literary analysis, which some of us can't stand, then she'll say, okay, well, we're gonna draw this out. We did a satire project where we got to make a satire of some sort. So people wrote essays, people wrote fake Onion articles. I did a little fake commercial video thing, and then we got to share them with the class. She definitely lets us use each other as learning tools as well. She recognizes that we can also learn from the people around us and not just her lecturing at the front of the classroom. People talk about their teachers' lesson plans and how they incorporate different learning styles, but I think they fail to recognize sometimes the teachers that make you feel like you deserve to be there every day and make you feel like you deserve the education. And there's some teachers who are better with the kids who are quieter, who are better with the kids who are louder, who connect more with people on the football team or who are artists. She definitely has a way of being friends with the kid who talks incessantly in her class and with the kid who's maybe never said anything in her class. And both of them equally feel like she's paying attention to them, which is probably what distinguishes her from all the other teachers I've had so far. She lets us know that she's a real person and that she likes us, and people want to come back to that. So I see kids coming in from college and they'll come into a room after school, and then maybe I'll come back a half an hour to get a homework assignment with somebody, they'll still be there. They want to hang out in there, and I definitely think that my senior class will be the same. We're going to want to come back and see her again because she's that kind of person.
Please come forward to receive your gift and a voucher for $100 to use as you wish in your classroom. George Hawkins, U.S. History, Government at New Tech High School. Jeremy Iverson, Social Studies teacher at Edison Middle School. Lynn Thomason, Latin and AP Latin at Lincoln High School. Megan Woundedhead, AP and Accelerated English at Washington High School. Congratulations again to all of our nominees and finalists. At this time, Board President Kent Elberty and Vice President Cynthia Mickelson will make the announcement that we're all anxiously awaiting.
Nearly $95,000 has been awarded to outstanding teachers since 1989 due to the generous heart of Bruce Eide and Vern Eide Motor Cars. Michael Larson is representing Bruce tonight, and we invite him to come forward to help us present the award to our winner.
Well, this year I had the very difficult job of serving on the judging panel for the Teacher of the Year Award. It's not my first time doing it, and it doesn't get any easier each time. As we studied the nomination and support letters, words and phrases like this were used to describe our winner: engaging, impactful, inspiring, gracious with time, passionate but fun, while still having the ability to lay down the law. A teacher who truly cares for students as if they are her own. The letters of support paint a vivid picture of our winner's devotion to teaching and ultimately to the success of her students. She is well loved, and to her students, she is known as Timo. Apparently, the nickname gave it away. I apologize. So on behalf of Vernite Motor Cars and the Sioux Falls School District, it is my pleasure to present Lynn Thomason, the 2019 John Harris Teacher of the Year.
I have so many thank yous. First of all, to the committee. I appreciate your time and all that you've put towards this process. To the school board members, Vernite, and I used to live across the street from Dr. Harris, so I would be remiss to not thank him tonight. The staff of the school district does such a phenomenal job, and I had several emails back and forth with Kelly to get my 30 students here tonight. So, to my fellow nominees, thank you so very much for all that you do in the classroom. To the other finalists, thank you so much, and congratulations for being a finalist. Hang in there, because your fourth time could be the charm, too. At my table, our son is here, and please always remember the sacrifices that teachers' families make in many ways for us to do what we can in the classroom. Mr. Grimm is here, our principal, and I can't thank admin enough for letting me do what I do. Danielle Brown is here as not only a Lincoln teacher, but a Lincoln parent, and what an honor that is. And thank you to the parents, including Cynthia, who make Lincoln just a fantastic place to be. Mrs. Sylvester is here to represent all the other professions in our building that make it work, and without whom there's no way I could come back to work every day. Kim Tollinger is here as my department chair, without whom the building would not run and we wouldn't have the support in the department that we do. Therese Kenner is here as my dear friend, and she finds out all my frustrations and my joys as my friend. Christy Oscar is here as a fellow teacher, and there are so many of them in the building, and I truly accept this only on behalf of the entire building. I would be remiss if I certainly did not thank my students, especially Mitch and Josephine and Katie and Jonathan, who put together these nomination papers. Tonight, you are with the cream of the crop. There are no other AP Latin students in this entire state, and they are here tonight. And I love you all, and thank you all so very much. Thank you.
Finally, I want to thank you all for coming this evening to share, support, and encourage teaching excellence. We send you off tonight with the hope that you will continue to unfold the possibilities in each student, instilling resiliency, perseverance, and hope. And may those same qualities sustain you for the remainder of your career. Good night.
Everybody listen up. How about a big round of applause for our very own Miss Thomason? Selected as the Sioux Falls Teacher of the Year. How about Miss Thomason? You know what, guys? You know it and I know it. She pours her heart and soul into what she does each and every day, and it's reflected in the way she carries herself. Thank you, Miss Thomason, for all you do. Your students are lucky to have you. That's it for morning announcements. As always, see you in a moment.
It's incredibly humbling. It's amazing for the students. They're so happy. They're so happy. And lots of hugs and high fives and fist pumps and emails and texts from all over the place. And so I'm just trying to enjoy it and to have fun. It is a wonderful experience. I've had over 200 texts and emails from California to New York. So that's been a lot of fun to hear from former students and present students and their families. I had always wanted to be a teacher. My mom has a picture of me as a preschooler with the neighborhood children in a circle, and I'm the youngest one, but I'm reading the book to them. So I think I'm convinced this has to be some kind of gene that we have as teachers. So it's been, the desire to be a teacher has been in me for a very, very, very long time. And so I pursued that goal. And then I was a student teacher in college. And unfortunately, the student teaching experience I had just absolutely crushed me. And so at that time, I chose not to go into teaching. So I went to get my graduate degree in library science with a specialization in health information management and worked in healthcare for over 20 years. And then just by chance at an event, found out the situation with the previous Latin teacher here who was ill with cancer, and they were trying to find someone. And I knew Latin. I was a Latin major, and I met Mrs. Fox within the week and was here within the week. I'm helping out with the class, and I have been here ever since. And I love it. So in a way, I've come full circle. Well, I actually started taking Latin in middle school. The school district that I attended in Pennsylvania started language in middle school, 7th grade. And we had all kinds of options, Latin and Russian and Spanish and French and German. And we do not have a speaking emphasis in Latin class. And that appealed to me. That very much appealed to me. And the teacher, I still keep in touch with my high school Latin teacher. When I go home to Pennsylvania during the summer, we try to have dinner and we email back and forth. She's currently working with ELL students at a college level. And so she's a very, very, very special and unique and wonderful woman. And she had a large part of me staying in Latin and deciding to major in it in college. My college professor, Dr. Pavlantos, who's since passed away, she was also a phenomenal woman and a great inspiration to me. That's the beauty of the language, because when we study Latin, we study language. We study the basis of all the other Romance languages. We study vocabulary. We study etymology. Where do words come from? What do they mean? Where do their meanings come from? We study archaeology. We study history. We study politics. We study government. We study rhetoric. We study oratory. We study astronomy. We study the calendar. We study architecture. We study engineering. We study poetry and prose and the different genres of literature. We study different authors. So yes, Latin has that beauty. We get to study all these other things when we translate and we study Latin. So the students hopefully come out of class not just with Latin knowledge, but with knowledge that can help them and touch them in many other areas. The previous Latin teacher was part-time in both schools, and when I became full-time at Lincoln, we had to decide what to do at O'Gorman, and we moved Latin to a night class. And so every Thursday night when I leave here, I go over to O'Gorman, and we just have the most special Latin community. We have over 30 students, and we have all different levels of Latin, Latin 1 through AP. And we have volunteers come in to help, and I have an assistant who comes in from USF on Thursday nights, and they just roll with it. And we have dinner together. We have this wonderful community of fellowship, and we have our dinner prayer in Latin together, which is very special for me every week. On Tuesday nights, I go over with the AP students because we need some extra time with advanced placement, and they just do a wonderful job. Everything has its pros and cons, but time management and being able to focus for that long and to get their work done in a good way, and to how to communicate with your teacher when you only see them one day a week, they all just rise to the occasion. They're just the best group. And everybody says, oh my gosh, on Thursdays you have a 15-hour day. And sometimes it's a little rough to think about going over there, but then when I get there, I'm not tired at all, and we just have the best time, and the night just flies. And before I know it, I'm on my way home, and I'm just so proud of everything that they've accomplished. If there's a barrier to a student getting something done, or a barrier to a student who needs help, I want to take it away. I just want to remove the barrier. And some students might have an older sibling at home or a parent at home who might have knowledge in math or English or the sciences to be able to help their child. But it's not so common for them to have Latin help. And I realized pretty quickly that if they don't get their homework done, I'm not too happy. So it also helps me because if they can reach out to me and get the help that they need and the barrier goes away, then the next day goes a whole lot better for all of us. I just don't mind it. Usually if they call, it'll be, I had your first period, I had 5 other classes after that, I remembered it and it made sense when I was there, but now it's not making sense. And so I'll start to talk to them about what we did that day and how we have to do something, and just within seconds, the student will say, oh, I remember, goodbye. So it's not a ton of time. These are not hour-long conversations. They're just to remove a barrier. One of the things that was most helpful when I started with the school district was taking a class called Practical Classroom Management, based on the research of Dr. Marzano, who's just my hero. He's just my education guru. He's just a wonderful man. If I ever met him, I don't even know what I'd do. I probably wouldn't even be able to talk. And that class was very, very meaningful to me and incredibly helpful to me. And the first thing they talked about in that class was we used to have the 3 R's of reading, writing, and arithmetic. And Dr. Marzano replaced those 3 R's with rigor and relevance and relationship. And he spent a good part of his life studying those 3 aspects in the classroom. And we know from him and all of his fantastic work that if we have the best rigor, things aren't too hard, things aren't too easy, and we have the best relevance, where everything that we do with the student has a meaning and a purpose, but we don't have that relationship, the students won't be successful. And so I remember sitting there thinking, if that's what makes a student successful, then that's what I need to do. It's that easy, and it's that clear cut with the research. And so I came into the classroom with a clear focus on relationship building. And I try to make that a point every single day of touching base with each student every day. And so I would tell a new teacher to focus on building those relationships. Everyone will do it in their own way. It's unique to that person, but if that's what's going to help your student be successful, then you better do it. That's what we all need to do. I've always felt that Lincoln has had a wonderfully balanced emphasis on academics, the arts, and athletics. And so there are just so many opportunities here for students to explore an interest, to develop an interest, or to really perfect an interest. And that's just an amazing repertoire for a high school. To have it go across all three areas of arts, athletics, and academics is really special. I mean, Lincoln is the only school in the state that offers advanced placement Latin. And so it's just it's a wonderful place to be, and the support is there for the class, and the support is here for the Latin program, and I just appreciate that. These kids do amazing things. These Latin students are just wonderful with what they can do, and their potential is just boundless. The Sioux Falls School District has been so supportive and offers wonderful classes, offers wonderful resources to teachers, and really, I think, provides atmospheres in our schools where the teachers can do what we do best. Well, the students are very persistent. And also, since I'm the only Latin teacher, you know, my AP students, I've had the blessing to teach them for 4 consecutive years. And, you know, some teachers may only see students for a semester, some may teach them for the entire year, but I have this opportunity of having the students for 4 years. And we just have this close-knit Latin family, and they've just been persistent. I think there are things that have gone on behind the scenes between former students and present students, and so they have just been determined. And I'm very grateful to them. I'm very grateful to not have to have disappointed them again, and especially for Mitch and Katie and Josephine and Jonathan to feel like their efforts came to this fruition. It was just wonderful to have them all there last night. I was stunned that there were 3 tables of students there. That was just such an amazing experience. And the picture that we got to take with all the students at the end is something I just can't wait to have printed and framed and to put in the room, because that's what it's all about. Well, every 4 years or so, I try to offer a Latin banquet. And it was one thing when I started and I had 6 students. It's a little different now when there's over 100. And so the banquet is part of the Latin 2 curriculum. And so now with the more than generous funds that I received last night, I will be able to have the banquet this year. And so that will involve an entire weekend of preparation, including shopping and dealing with the food that we will serve at the banquet. The decorations will have to be made prior to that. And then Sunday evening, we will be in here and we will be transforming this room into a Roman dining room with pillars and tables and candelabra and all the things that they would have had. And then all day Monday, each period will be able to celebrate their own Roman banquet, which will just be, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. Oh, I look out every day and I just see possibilities. I see immense possibilities of problems that are going to be solved, of a world that's going to be a better place, of things that are going to be cured, of people who are going to be treated well. These kids just have that kind of potential. They can do wonderful things, and so I want to unlock that. I want every student to know what their potential is, and I just so want them to have the drive and the motivation to get there. If their potential's an A and they're getting a C in my class, it's going to be rough, because I'm going to be their best friend until they get their potential.